Hey you guys, I am here today with Curt Hale with Prime Lending here in Abilene. Curt has been in the mortgage loan business for 17 years now?
About, yeah.
So he definitely knows what he's talking about. He's been a great asset to me since getting my real estate career going down here in Abilene. So I'm thankful for his time to help us look into the market a little bit and see what's going on. I'm interested to talk to you about interest rate reductions that we heard about Friday of last week, and you were telling me that possibly some more this week coming at us. So can you explain those changes that
Sure.
have been going on recently?
Yeah, those are good points, good talking points. So basically rates have changed, right? They're always changing, but they've changed for the better. And that is a mix of things from different indices. So one is the consumer price index. The other is a 10-year treasury yield. All boring stuff.
Right.
And then the big one, the big kicker was the jobs report, labor report.
Okay.
So the unemployment rate was a little bit higher on the numbers report last week than it was planned to be. And this was all right at around the same time that the Federal Reserve, who pretty much makes the benchmark rates, before they had their announcement about if they're going to be making any cuts and what the economic outlook is for the Federal Reserve's target rate.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's what brought us to where we're at now, where we're looking at maybe some interest rates coming down a little bit.
That's right.
How does that impact the overall real estate market in your neck of the woods from a lender's perspective?
Sure. So all goes back to principles of economics, right? If everyone can remember that class in high school or college or whatever studies you've done. So in economics, scales of economies apply, but there's demand and then there's sales or less demand. Mm-hmm. So when there's a high amount of demand, that makes rates higher or the price of something higher. Mm-hmm. Well, this isn't what's happening with rates. Unfortunately, rates are kind of staying the same for longer, higher for longer, as the Federal Reserve has said, but it's still where sellers want to sell their property. And the challenge that we're all facing is there's great houses for sale, but there's not a lot of buyers because they're scared. There's just a fear in the economy with consumers about prices. Everything's double. Doesn't matter if it's meat or milk or mortgage interest rates or home insurance or home prices.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that 100%. And from the real estate side of life, as opposed to the lender outlook, I would just say that I always tell my buyers that the right time for you to buy is when you're ready to buy.
That's right.
Right? So we can always, refinance and things like that in the future if the interest rate is that much different. But we can help you guys run calculators to show you your cost versus buying now at a slightly higher interest rate or waiting, 3 more years, possibly getting a lower interest rate, but what that 3-year period is going to cost you in rent and things like that, right. Not building equity, that kind of stuff. So that's something that we can help you with if you want to look into that. Another thing I say is I hear some people talking about waiting because there may be some more rate cuts in September, possibly another one by the end of the year. But the thing is, if those rates come down too much, then what we have is a rush of buyers who have all been scared and sitting on the sidelines, and now they all want to get out there for those lower interest rates. Like you said, then you've got more demand, so your cost of housing is going to go up.
That's right.
So it's kind of, again, that tightrope situation where you want to buy at the right time and as a buyer have the opportunity to negotiate with a seller as opposed to just take what you can get because you're up against 5 other buyers.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. What type of loan products should the consumers be looking at?
When we're using some programs like VA, financing for military members, FHA, first-time buyers or repeat buyers, USDA as well, we can use buy-down techniques, we can use seller concessions. All those are very flexible. Little plug is on a conventional loan. If the buyer is putting 20% down or more, there's no mortgage insurance.
Could take just a minute and discuss that buy down option. I think that's
Sure.
something that can be a great option for some buyers, but also a little confusing. So can you kind
Sure.
of help demystify that a little bit?
Great topic. Okay, so a buy down is simply the trade-off of money for a 1%, 2%, or 3% rate reduction from what the permanent rate would be. Lending has a special right now. We will pay the first year of buy down for a military member, a VA loan, or on an FHA loan. That 1% difference is paid at closing by the lender in that example. Well, that would give you a 5% interest rate for the first 12 payments. So it makes it really attractive to help offset transitioning from renting or living in an apartment with someone or living for free into a home.
I was just saying, how many times have we talked to people that wish they had gotten into it 3 years ago or
Right.
10 years ago? And if you're on the sidelines waiting right now, in 3 years from now, you're going to be saying, I wished I would have bought 3 years ago. And I feel like the reason for that is so many things. Like you said, we can always refinance. You're building equity in that 3-year time period. And then 3 years from now, you may be able to reach out to me and say, hey, what kind of equity do I have in this property? How much has the value risen in the last 3 years? And then we can play with options of what you can do and how you can leverage that property to either build a portfolio or buy up, or you'll have options at that point instead of being the one wishing you had done it. So as a consumer, where is the best place for me to go to get factual, intelligent data? If I am watching rates, I'm considering buying, and I know all of these things affect that. Should I just come directly to you, or is there a place that you'd recommend the consumer go to get some real factual good data on
Absolutely.
what's going on?
So getting that pre-qualification is really first step to help someone get the right home loan. If you go to curthale.com, you can look at some questions like that on my website.
So how can our buyers connect with you if they're looking for advice, want some more information from you?
Sure. I'm on all the social media platforms, call, text, or email as well. And I'm right here by the Mall of Abilene. I do loans all around the country. Welcome to schedule an appointment, call, or come in, and make it really simple. How can people get in touch with you?
Right here on my YouTube channel. I'm all over social media as well. And I will also be posting links directly to you and I in the description to this video. So we'll be back again soon.
All right.
All right. We're pretty easy to find.